In Gauri Shinde's English Winglish, we join Shashi Godbole on a literal and metaphorical journey, which makes us question how we perceive the traditional Indian homemaker. The Swaddle presents Recasting. In Hindi cinema, whether as main leads or supporting characters, women often play homemakers. The homemaker is her family's binding glue who sacrifices her own needs to ensure that her family members are happy and successful.
बच्चों की खातिर जॉब करियर सब छोड़ दिए खुद लेसन लेती हूँ सुबह शाम ईशान ईशान ईशान
In fact, often her only sources of conflict are her family members' problems. As the upholder of family values, the homemaker is often portrayed as being conservative. She dresses appropriately. She shies away from engaging in PDA with her persistent husband because the family might see. And in many films, her behavior is contrasted with a Western career woman's to depict what a good Indian woman should be like. Her self-worth is often dependent on how her husband, children, and in-laws treat her, and this skews the family power dynamic in their favor. In English Winglish, this dynamic is skewed further because Shashi can't speak English like her husband and children can. They put Shashi down for being a gawar, with her daughter feeling embarrassed and even questioning Shashi's authority because she's not English educated. Because of this, Shashi constantly feels unhappy and insecure and yet goes on selflessly serving her family until she is forced to travel alone to the US to help prepare for her niece's wedding. When she is out of the comfort of her own home, Shashi misses her family at first. But when they lash out in response to her reaching out, Shashi begins to adapt to her environment. She ends up exploring the city and taking English classes, undertaking a journey of self-discovery. She's at ease with learning new things and making friends. But more importantly, she begins to see her own capabilities in a new light. This evolution is depicted most starkly through how she perceives her cooking.
Man cooking, art. Lady cooking, daily job, duty.
Her talent for making amazing laddus, which her husband is dismissive of, is something she gets a lot of appreciation for abroad. Over the course of these few days, she comes to see the value of that talent and all the other skills she excels in as a homemaker.
You cooking with love, good food. You make people happy. You artist.
Through her interactions in this new environment, we also see that Shashi may take on a traditional role in the family, but that doesn't mean her thinking is backward.
Without thinking, मैंने decide कर लिया कि आप एक typical Indian housewife हो, when actually आप एक free thinking woman हो, तो लोग मुझे कहेंगे judgmental.
This comes out most strongly in the way she talks to her fellow student Salman about the problems with being homophobic, or in the manner in which she responds to Laurent's romantic advances.
बहुत दिनों बाद किसी ने मेरी इतनी तारीफ की। थोड़ा सा झोंक के बस।
Shashi isn't on a moral high ground. She's a flawed individual who feigns sickness to attend her English classes in secret and is attracted to another man. When her family joins her for the wedding in New York, Shashi is torn. And when her son has an accident, she questions her priorities. She ends up choosing to spend time with her family, attending her English classes remotely with Laurent's help. Just like her niece, we question whether she is making the right choice. But it's through a small exchange towards the end of the film that we realize why she made that choice.
Thank you for making me feel good about myself. Thank you so much.
The journey she's undertaken has given Shashi the confidence to love who she is and take pride in what she does. She realizes that her unhappiness doesn't stem from her own discomfort, but from her family's lack of respect for her and the role she plays.
मुझे प्यार की ज़रूरत नहीं है, ज़रूरत है तो सिर्फ थोड़ी इज्जत की.
Through her wedding toast, she openly demands that respect, emphasizing the need to uphold marriage as a relationship between equals and family as a respectful and happy space for every member. And with that, we see the homemaker in a new light. Not as someone whose duty it is to be unconditionally devoted to her family, but as someone who makes the choice to play that role and deserves her family's and society's respect for doing so.